Okay, so yesterday they released Cyberpunk 2027 for Apple Silicon. So what I've done is I'm going to do some benchmarks with it against some other machines. So the first one we're going to look at is Bazzite, and this is info's up there, AMD Ryzen 9 with a 9060 XT video card in it. And Bazzite's a Fedora sort of version, Steam-based. It's the deck version, so it's like a gaming console. Okay, so here we are in Bazzite. Just go to settings, and I've set this up with the settings that I can reproduce on the MacBook later on. So the settings in this, so 1920 by 1080. Graphics are AMD Fidelity FX Super Resolution, no FSR, and then chromatic aberrations are off, and everything else is on high on here, apart from color precision, which is on medium. So there you go. So this is the same we're going to use on each machine, including the Mac. Let's run the benchmark. Now remember, this is Bazzite, so this is basically running through an running through a compatibility layer. And this is Bazzite's Steam Deck version. So this is like the deck version. So if you launch this, it comes up like a version of Steam. And Bazzite's like totally tailored towards playing Steam and games on it. It's brilliant. I mean, it's like, I've got this unit attached to the TV and you can just play games on it. So there we go. We're on 154 frames a second. Pretty good. Yeah, so that's not bad. Rumbling away there quite merrily. Yeah, 150 frames a second. 154. I mean, I've got like the overlay at the top, and I've also got like the in-frame one sorted out as well. So it's sort of all a bit, yeah, but I haven't got frame FSR on. Not FSR, yeah. I haven't got frame gen on, which is interesting. But it's, 1920 by 1080, and it's 100 and something frames a second. Interested to see what this comes out actually. I'm going to get this running quite usably on 4K on this card. What do we get? Bet 60. Hit 60. So what have we got? We've got 140 frames a second. There you go. So that's great. So yeah, so test quality high, no vertical sync, no frame gen, FSR 3, super resolution, set to auto, no ray tracing. So there you go. And this is version 2.3 of the game, which is the very latest version. I've upgraded all the machines around to have that same, they're all running the same thing, because 2.3 is the one that runs on the Mac. Anyway, okay, so let's flip over to the next one. Let's go over to Windows. Yeah, just having a click. There we go. Let's go to Windows. Okay, here we are in Windows. Same machine, same hardware, everything. And we just launch it. Now this has got like the default installation of the AMD Adrenalin driver, the latest version. So same settings as last time, 1920, 1080, graphics, switch off ray tracing, obviously. Ray tracing is just not a good thing for the 9060 cards. We can do it, but not brilliantly. Okay, and let's get that AMD Super Resolution 3 off, medium. Let's go down. Chromatic aberration was off. Let's switch that off all the way down. And then what else was off? Everything else was high. So those are to change that. Ultra high, 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 high. And I think color precision was on medium. Yeah. Okay. And now I'll apply that and run it. That's right. Everything off, high, apply. And let's run it. Now, there should be not a huge amount of difference between this and Bazzite, really. I mean, Bazzite's so well optimized for gaming. It's brilliant. I mean, so you're like literally going to be, a couple of frames apart, especially on these settings. And I just repeat, though, the reason I'm doing these settings, the machines can do more, is the fact that I can do a comparison then properly between Windows 11 with this setup, Bazzite, which is Linux, and this setup, and then the Mac, which will be interesting to see. Because obviously, this is about £1,000, this machine. and we're banging out. I mean, I would never use this at 1920 by 1080. I mean, it's a TV machine. You put it on the TV, so it's 1920 1080 on the machine, so for the interface. And then whenever the game jumps up, I always put the games up at 4K, or you can get it to. I mean, 1440p is the perfect spot for this card. Some TVs don't take it, and it throws a wobbly because it does this sort of lossless sort of scaling. So you just, if you have it running on a 4K screen, it scales it up. So yeah, so it's a bit of a mixture. I mean, you get it to work quite well on 4K. I'm going to do a video about the Bazzite box and the best settings to get it to run at 60p on a 4K display. Someone's asked me for that because it's a good little rig. Okay, we're getting to the end. What are we going to get? What's our score going to be on this? 145 frames a second, so 5 frames faster than Bazzite. So yeah, huge difference for the rubbish you have to go through with Windows. Anyway, so let's look at the Mac now. The machine I'm using for my Mac test is a Apple M3 Max 14-core, 30-core GPU with 36 gig of RAM and the latest Sonoma. Here we are, we're in a Mac. Brilliant, it's nice, it's here. And we'll go in and we'll look at the settings. I'm going to emulate the same settings I had on those previous machines. Okay, off, right, that's there, graphics. I'm actually using AMD Fidelity FX. Now, I will talk about the inbuilt metal FX thing in a minute. So there you go, ray tracing is off, everything's off. Depth of field, yeah, aberration, all the way down. The only one there that should be medium is color precision. Run benchmark, here we go. What are we going to get? What are we going to get? And here we go, loading. And we're getting, come on, you can do it. 67, 66 frames per second. That's what it is, isn't it? I mean, at that resolution with those settings, 1920 by 1080, you're into sort of like iGPU territory, aren't you? You're on the sort of performance you can get out of an inbuilt iGPU on an AMD chip, not a £3,000 computer with an inbuilt super duper 36, you know. So yeah, so that's 1920 by 1080. Brilliant. Well, okay. I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is an M3 Max. I mean, I'd be interested to see if you go into an M2 Ultra. Now, the thing that they give you, and if you look on Projekt Red, Code Red's website, you basically get, there's like a preset built for your machine, which I'll do in a minute, which is the first place you'd go. You'd normally set the machine up with, you know, it's acceptable. It's 60 frames, over 60 frames, you know. So it's playable, isn't it? 1920. I know, that's fantastic. I mean, good job they did it. Here we go. 74 frames a second. So there you go. Now, we'll jump back to the main menu, and I'm using AMD FSR. And basically, there you go. I'm sort of showing you the thing, OS 15 game version, whatever. And then we go back to settings. Now, at the top there, there's a tab, and it says for your machine. I'll get there. That way. For this Mac. Okay, and then you confirm it. And it should give you dynamic resolution, metal effect, sharpness, all this sort of business. And it gives you a setting for this machine. Again, no frame gen. And so this is, you know, this is the preferred setting, you'd imagine, because it's using metal effects as well. So there you are, minimum resolution, maximum resolution. These are metal effects things. Now, this may not be optimized. This may be medium. You see all the settings are off, high, all the way down there. Medium for color precision. And then let's see what happens. Let's run the benchmark on what they recommend you to run it on. Come on, you can do it. And let's have a look at this. Dynamic resolution. Yeah, maximum resolution scaling. I'm just trying to read what it says up there. Maximum rendering resolution, minimum rendering resolution represented by a percentage of the target, which is similar to AMD FX Fidelity, isn't it? Okay, so here we go. Let's have a look. Now, this is what they recommend, the recommender for my machine setting. Here we go. And what are we going to get? You can already see there, 46 frames. So that's 20 frames per second dropped by using the recommended settings. So I think straight off the bat, you need to don't use Metal FX. You need to use the AMD upscalers. I mean, frame gen's not matter. I think they're bringing frame gen in, Metal frame gen or whatever it is later, to be integrated. But right now, you're going to get best performance out of this using AMD's Super Fidelity upscaler. I mean, I'd like to do this natively. This just wouldn't work, would it? I mean, we'd be down at 30 frames a second. But seriously, I mean, these are expensive machines. I mean, 36 gets plenty of RAM to run this. But to me, it just sort of highlights where Macs are. I mean, I love Macs. I work on a Mac every day. But for gaming, no, I don't think so. It's great that they've done this. And they put it out there. And I'm sure a lot of Mac people will buy it because it's a tentpole title, AAA title. And it's a great game. But this is just atrocious. You know, on a machine this expensive, you're getting this kind of frame rate. It's just not great. There you go, 45 frames a second. Minimum is 26, maximum is 72. No frame gen, dynamic resolution scaling. Now, I think I went back in here as well, and I tried the auto setting as opposed to the dynamic resolution scaling. I went in on the Metal FX and put it to auto because normally you can... Hang on, let me have a look. Did I do that? I'm sure I did. Yeah, just check. I'm just checking because I was to make sure that I got the settings exactly the same as I had them on the other machines, just so this was a really fair comparison between them. And then I did try the auto dynamic scaling resolution thing, auto. There we go. So this is like, you got quality, you know, the same stuff you're looking at. Normally you get quality, performance and all that. And normally you put it on, leave it on auto. So it's basically doing its own thing and deciding what it's going to do. Auto balance performance, there you go. So you've got that and click apply. Okay, let's run that and see what that gives us. And that's more of a setting that you'd normally use, is that the auto, just let it sort of dictate when it knows it's, because it should target a frame rate. You can do targeted frame rates in this, as you've seen the other one had targeted frame rates. But let's see what we get out of that. Here we go. What are we going to get? Yeah, it looks similar. 40 frames. Here we go. 40. I think that might be slower. 43, 44. So we really want to be up like 50 or 60 or a little bit above. I mean, really to give it a bit of headroom. And you can see if you use the AMD Fidelity FX thing, it does work, the FSR, and it does give you that above the Metal FX thing, which is literally Apple's own API. Here we go, we get 50, that's a bit better. Stick on 50. Yeah, here we go. 50 frames a second. But it's not brilliant. Okay, I mean, I'll just be honest with you. I mean, it just goes, I did some tests the other day because they've released 3D Mark for the Mac as well in Silicon. And these things just aren't great for games performance. I mean, you could play it, but I mean, realistically, I honestly still think the price of these boxes, I mean, it'd be interesting to see what you could do with an M4 mini Mac. There you go, look. But they're just not. I mean, you're better off getting a cheap PC for games or an Xbox or a PlayStation. It's great they did this, but I do not think going forwards that the Macs currently, as they stand, with the way this all works with this game and with other games, that it's just ready for main time gaming. I know they're trying to do it with games performance mode, but stick with your PCs and your Xboxes, really. And just use these for content creation, which is what they're good at. I mean, mind you, PCs are good at that as well. But I mean, yeah, I mean, these are very much like that. Anyway, I hope that was useful. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you again soon.